Hello po. Welcome to another build video, this time for the Pyroclasm starter shotgun. So, this shotgun, as far as I know, is the only weapon in the game that can deal physical elemental type damage, which gives us access to uh, an additional multiplier, which is your elemental damage. But this shotgun also reduces your damage, the elemental damage equal to 85% attack, which this weapon is tooltip says this attack reduces the base damage by 85%, not your attack stat, which is increased by something like your ammo. So having, for example, tungsten shotgun ammo that gives you 15% attack stat does not negate the damage penalty that this weapon gives you. But even if you have that much damage penalty, it's still pretty strong because of the access to that additional multipliers, I mean. So for the equipment, I'm using 2-piece Lone Wolf and 3-piece Falcon. So I'm using this instead of something like 3-piece Falcon, or I mean 4-piece Lone Wolf and 1-piece Bastille, because I value the 5% crit rate that Falcon gives instead of just having the 4-set 8% crit rate be for 2 seconds, because this gun shoots for longer than 2 seconds. Then for the key armor, I'm using Boots on the Ground for an additional damage to multiplier by 30%. So for the mods, I'm using Crit Boost because we're focusing on the bullet damage and not really trying to increase the damage of burn. Then Wildfire to apply Vuln with Vulnerability Amplifier. The substats here doesn't really matter because it goes away when you swap out your weapon. Then for the helm, I'm using Momentum Up. You can also use Elemental Havoc if you have a good Elemental Havoc with violent mods. Crit, crit damage, weapon damage, and damage to great ones. That's what we are looking for in each of our substats on all of our mods. So you can also use this Precise Strike if you have those substats. So just get the one with the better substats. For our mask mod, it's either Targeted Strike with or Retrusion Explosion. So Targeted Strike grants us 10% crit rate and 35% crit damage when hitting marked enemies, and we're using Wildfire to mark them. Or you can use Retrusion Explosion, where it is. Crit damage plus 40% against enemies with burn. So you just go for whatever mod that you prefer or have better substats on. For the chest, I'm using crit damage with crit damage plus damage to great ones. For the pants, I'm using dead shot with the crit damage, damage to great ones, and weapon damage. For the gloves, I'm using crit boost. And for the boots, it's either slow and steady or covered advanced. Get the one that you have a better substat in. So for the Cradle, I'm using this anti-regen and anti-void. In the winter, anti-void gives weapon damage and status damage plus 15 when using shotguns. So it's not in the pistol category anymore. they divided it up. So, and we're gonna be using tactical combo, and deviation master grants us 25% damage against great ones. This continuous damage and hit heat aggregation. This one grants us burn damage. When you use this, you can actually see that what increases is, oh wait, it's not really listed. I think it's a buff here. It's burn damage and blaze damage, which also affects the damage of your bullets. Then Bounty Hunter and Steady Hand gives weapon damage and weak spot damage when hitting marked targets. So for stats, we have this. Slightly low on weapon damage, but if you can use something like crumbling bread or shattered bread, it will give you 25% weapon damage. For our calibration, I'm using heavy with 2 crit rate lines. So okay, I'm gonna test it. I think for that we're using Treyant as our training dummy. So here, the problem with this gun is that you need a lot of setup because you need to collect the orbs, then reload. Then if you swap again, the buff disappears. So what we want to do is kill the furthest first. Then trigger this. Then slowly move towards so I have 4 stacks right now. Can use that. Mark the enemy. And there we go. If you notice, I swap weapons, and then the stack disappears, but it's still with me, the stacks, the orbs. Then when I swap and reloaded, it consumes the stacks that I have. It's just not showing in the UI. Then I have the blaze damage. So that's it. Thank you for watching and goodbye.